Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and I would like to welcome you back to another edition in Source University. Today we are going to be talking about foundational links. So foundational links are going to be the first links that you are going to point at your website or your client's website, and these give a first impression with Google, so it's very important that you do these correctly. All right, so in this short video, I'm going to go over the foundational links that I use first with all my client sites that I want to rank. All right. So, and as I mentioned in one of the previous trainings, remember guys, the foundational links are extremely important. All right. The first links that Google sees pointing back to your websites kind of set the standard or set the tone for that website. So if the first links that Google sees are spammy links, then you're not starting off on a good foot, okay? So, you need to set these links correctly. So, I'd like you to imagine for a moment that, you're a parent, right? Let's say you're a father, and the doorbell rings. You go over to the door and you open it up, and there's a guy standing there, and he's covered with tattoos and piercings and wearing all black and, generally just kind of looks scary, right? And he's there to pick up your daughter. Now, he may be a perfectly nice young man, and, if they date for a while and he turns out to be a good guy, then your impression of him may change, okay? But that initial impression, that first kind of gut reaction, OMG, what is this, is, the same thing that's going to happen if you start with bad links for your site in Google's eyes, okay? So, better safe than sorry. Let's make sure that the links that show up, on your doorstep, are clean cut and polite and, that kind of stuff, right? We want to do what Google wants to see. By the way, a recurring theme that you're going to find throughout my training is going to be, what do real sites do? Okay? Recurring theme is going to be, what do real sites do? All right? And that's what we're going to do, not only for our money sites, our client sites, but also in a lot of ways for our PBN sites. All right? So what links do we use first? All right, so the links that we use first are going to be Web 2.0 links, all right? And so, for those of you who aren't 100% sure about what I mean when I say a Web 2.0, I'm simply talking about a site on the internet that allows two-way interaction, okay? So some of the more popular Web 2.0s are going to be Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, okay? These sites. So the way that we are going to begin to build links to our site, step number one is we are going to build out the 4 top social media sites that all businesses should have. And we're going to build those out completely, and we are going to build those out branded. And the top 4 are going to be Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube, okay? So that's how we're going to start. We are going to create an account on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube for the site that we want to rank. And we are going to fill those out completely, meaning that we are going to have, a cover photo for the Facebook. We're going to have a nice image. We're going to have it filled out with all of the information about the business that we're trying to rank in the details section and a link back to their website, okay? So remember, in 2015, your primary Web 2.0 properties are like your business card used to be, 20 years ago, right? Nowadays, your business card really is your website and your primary Web 2.0 accounts, all right? And I want you to think about this. If you don't have a Facebook account in 2015, all right, if a business does not have a Facebook account, then they look suspect, okay? It just doesn't look right, okay? Something doesn't look right. If you go to a website and the business does not have a Facebook and a Twitter, then it makes them look a little suspect, right? Because that's just something that we do nowadays. So it's not simply something that we need to do to establish our presence. It's something we need to do because it gives us legitimacy. All right, and it makes us, look more like a real and a trusted site. All right, so foundational links number 1 are going to be building out your primary social media accounts and building them out completely. If you are not aware or good with graphic design and things like that, then this can easily be outsourced on Fiverr. Okay, There's 1,000 gigs on Fiverr where they will take number one, they'll create a logo for you if you don't have one. But then other gigs that will take that logo and it will resize it into all the various shapes and sizes that you need for all your various social media accounts, okay? So this is a foundational step, is setting up your 4 accounts and setting them up completely, all right? So the next thing that I want to talk about is going to be an extension of those 4 accounts. And this is going to be a collection of around 40 other social media accounts that we're going to establish, and we're going to establish them in a very specific way, all right? So for this training, we're going to use a site called Knowem, all right? Now, there's other sites that do the exact same thing as Knowem. The only reason I'm teaching this one is because it seems to be working best right now, all right? So if something happens and you're watching this video and you go to knowem.com and it's down, then you can just find another site just as easily, okay? So what you're going to do here on Knowem is you're going to type in the name of your brand, okay? So in this case, I'm going to use one of my test sites, all right? And I'm gonna click check it. And what Knowem is going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to find out where I can register Web 2.0 accounts in this name, all right? So if the business you're trying to rank is Innovate Marketing, okay, then what Knowem tells me now is that there's a Blogger account that's available in that name. There's an Etsy account that's available with that name, okay? Tumblr account, all right? So what you're going to do is we are then going to set up these social media accounts, all right? And there's a variety of reasons why we're going to do this, okay? Number one, the most important reason is we're going to establish our client's brand across the internet, all right? So this is something that will make a lot of sense to your client, that we're going to go out and establish their name and claim these listings, right? Like what would happen if a competitor claimed, Innovate Marketing, .tumblr.com, okay? Then they could theoretically use that to, make our business look bad, right? So number one, the reason that we do this is it's for branding for our client, all right? So I'm going to show you in a minute here how to do this, how to get these done easily. But I want you to understand, that this is something that's not only good for SEO and for these foundational links, because again, all of these sites have high authority and high trust. But this is something that's actually going to help you with your client, because when you get these accounts for them, you're going to get them back with a spreadsheet that has the login information. The client is going to be very impressed with this, all right? This is something that you can send the client within a week or two of launching their campaign that's going to show them that you are a professional, that you're someone that knows what they're doing, okay? I promise you, I've done this hundreds of times, and the response is always great, all right? Clients love to see this. It really, makes them feel like you know what you're doing, and it really adds to their confidence in you. And when you're just starting out with a new client, that's something that you need to do. You need to establish that confidence, all right? So that's something that this is doing, okay? So what we're going to do for this, we are going to, we are going to set up the initial 4, but then we're going to go to Knowem, and look and kind of see what's available, all right? The next step is we're going to go to Fiverr, and we're going to order a gig, all right? Now, to do it the way that I'm telling you to do it, it's actually going to cost 3 gigs, all right? So it's going to cost $15. Now, there are companies that charge hundreds or more dollars to offer just this service, all right? And it's costing you $15. So this is something you could use as a foot in the door technique as well as a link building technique, meaning that you could offer to establish a potential client's brand online, as a foot in the door technique, a way to get a conversation going with them, okay? They don't know that you can get this done for $15, guys, okay? They think probably that this takes hundreds of dollars to do, and I promise you they will be impressed. All right, so what you're going to do, I'm going to give you the Fiverr gig here in just a minute. You're going to, and just in case anyone's wondering, I don't have any affiliation with that Fiverr gig. It's just someone that I've used for years that does a great job, okay? And so you're going to order the gig, and there's some specific things you need to do, all right? And so make sure that you're listening to this part, because you need to do this part properly, all right? So you're going to order the gig and the 2 extras, all right? So it's going to be $15. And then the first thing that the gig is going to ask you is, what name do you want for the accounts, all right? And you need to give them 2 choices, all right? These are going to be, whatever you give them the username, it's going to be a subdomain on whatever the account is on most of these. So for example, if the name of your site is, abcranking.com, okay, and your brand is ABC Ranking, then if you register this on Tumblr, it's going to be abcranking.tumblr.com, okay? So the first thing you need to give them is your username, which should be your business name, all right? So you're going to tell them that my preferred username for all accounts is ABC Ranking, okay? Now, some of them will only allow a very short 8 characters or less username, so you need to give them an alternate as well. Okay, so so for ABC Ranking, maybe you would just do ABC Rank or A Rank or something. I don't know. You'll have to figure it out on a per client basis, but you've got to give them the long version and the short version. Okay, and remember, this is branded, meaning that it talks about the company name. This does not have anything to do with keywords. Okay, so remember, it's brand name, not keywords. All right. So 2 things more are going to be done on this gig. Number 1, they're going to add a naked URL link back to your website, okay? And a naked or a bare link simply refers to http://www.yoursite.com or http://yoursite.com if it's not www, okay? So that is the link that they're going to put from all of these sites back to yours, all right? Then the last thing that they're going to do is they're going to upload a picture or a logo for you and throw in a really short description, okay? And that's something that you're going to get from your client, all right, is some information to set up all of these accounts. And I'm going to cover that in a different video, all right? So you're going to order the gig. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to tell them which username to use and what the secondary choice is. You're going to give them the naked URL to use. You're going to upload a short, logo, or you're going to upload a short description and a logo. Now, last thing, very important, you need to specify for them not to create the accounts on the primary 4, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube, all right? Because otherwise they will create those accounts, okay? So those are the steps to do this gig. It usually takes them 5 to 7 days, and then you're going to get a spreadsheet back. And it's going to have a list of all of the properties on it with the username and password, okay? What they'll do is they'll create a email account specifically to do this job for you, all right? So when that's done, you will have all the logins for all of these accounts. And make sure you keep them handy because we're going to use these later, all right? So here is the gig that I use. This is by no means the only gig. There's probably 50 plus gigs that do this very same thing on Fiverr. And notice here it says OnlyWire, okay? Just ignore that, all right? What this gig is for setting up social accounts, all right? And so, again, I want to leave this up here on the screen for just a minute. But the name of the provider is Lancers. And the gig is OnlyWire-accounts-creation-free-version, okay? And so this is also in the members area on the Facebook group in the file section, all right? So if you forget this later, just remember you don't have to come back and watch this video. Just simply go to the files section in the Facebook group and it will be there, all right? All right, guys. So, that's all for this section of the training. I hope that that's been clear. If it hasn't, then please go ahead and feel free to ask questions in the Facebook group. But as I mentioned on previous training, I don't ask you to do anything that has a one-time meaning or a one-time use, okay? So I highly suggest that you go out and set up these accounts like I've specified because, again, multiple reasons to do this. Number 1, branding. Number 2, it's good for the client, makes them have confidence in you. Number 3, you are going to have a ton of trust and authority sites linking to you first, which is the impression that you want to have, all right? And so remember, guys, I want to be very specific with this. These accounts are branded, meaning that we're not trying to hide the fact that we own them from Google, okay? We're not. In other parts of the training, we will be. We will want Google to think that other people are liking our content or syndicating our content. But this portion, it's legitimate. Google will understand that the Tumblr that you registered that's in your business name is yours, and that is perfectly fine. All right? Okay, guys. So again, I hope you go out and implement the stuff that I'm teaching you. It's based on years of experience. It works if you do it. All right. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next